that any second now, I'm going to say hello to Jim. And how are you?
Hey, Joe. How you going?
Oh, what you doing with that gun in your hand, they say.
Hi, Jim.
So, Jim,
Hey.
Jim, how are you? How's photography working for you at the moment?
Photography's going good. I'm having fun with it. It's more fun than anything commercial. But in saying that, it's good.
You know, when I first met you, it was all about fun. So what are you shooting with at the moment?
I've got still got my EM1. I've got my EM5, and I use it for video.
That was the EM5 that you bought off me.
Yeah, I still got it.
Wow.
For full set of lenses for my EM1 and EM5.
Oh, okay.
So
then.
I can't part with it, and I've also got the D850.
What lens are you using with that? You must have bigger lenses because that's what you're using for your dance stuff.
I've got a range of lenses, almost a full set of lenses for that as well.
Right. So you're just broke as well, like the rest of us.
I am broke, but I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun.
I think I got people sending me messages on Facebook, but I want them to come here to Zoom so they can join the club. So,
but it was so simple. It was there. You just click on it and join.
So simple is good.
Yeah. No, it was easy.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. You know, you've got you can show me photos that you've taken on this as well. I love the sharing.
How?
Oh, so on your.
Can I access my photo library?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you just touch your screen on your phone somewhere.
Share content.
Yeah, that's
share content.
And from there it should be kind of
photos.
Yeah, well, hello, that's sounding good.
I'll just share a couple. I'll show you the couple of the problems that I've had.
Yes.
And plus a couple of good ones.
Okie dokie.
Oh wow. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see that. Wow, that's like a ship. Oh wow.
That's a shipwreck that we sailed past in the Chilean fjords, like up the coast of Chile.
Yeah, right. Wow.
You go in and out of these fjords, and that was a shipwreck.
That's cool.
And that was like 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, wow.
And look how calm it was.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Wow. I love that reflection. Actually, it's like a love heart.
Yeah, no, it's pretty amazing, isn't it? So I was pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, I would be. So now you got to print that up and put it on your wall.
Yeah, well, we're thinking making an album, the book, the photo
the books. Yes, yeah, they're cool. Okay.
Oh,
wow. Okay, so that's like so is that with your Canon or with your phone?
Phone.
With your phone. That's cool. So what time of the day is that?
That was during the day. And it was overcast.
Right. Okay.
So I don't know how you could improve that to make it.
You play with exposure and you underexpose, you overexpose, or the plus or minus control. You do a plus one, you do a minus one, and do a middle one, and see how it looks. When you get it back onto the computer.
Yeah.
Are you doing any Photoshop-y kind of stuff, Lightroom, anything like that?
Nothing.
No? Okay.
So what do you use?
I'm using Lightroom as a subscription service.
Yeah.
And it works. And I'm using two. I'm using another one called On One, which is it's one that it's not subscription. So I kind of wanted to have a bit of both, because people say they use Lightroom all the time. And it works. And actually, when I show my photos, I use Lightroom anyway.
Oh, is that the Lightroom software that I'm looking at?
Yes. Yeah. So.
Okay.
So you'll see here up the top, there's a thing called Develop. And so when I go to Develop, it just gives me down the side here. So there's exposure, for example, and I can just take the exposure up, and you can just play with that exposure.
Yes.
To make it a little bit lighter. There's also another dial here, it's called whites. So to make the whites whiter. So that could also be enhanced,
But you can't change something that's out of focus. You can't.
If
something's out of focus, you can't.
Well, that's right. Yeah. I mean, that's okay. We've got that happening soon.
Yeah, so the way I got into the dancing photography was I danced for 8 years prior, and then I went to a class in Glebe. And from there, the guy was taking photos with his iPhone, and I said, "Well, would you like me to take a photo for you?" And then he goes, "Oh wow, these are great." So from there, I have done probably about 50 dance events. So just been crazy from there. I mean, I've been sought after, but it got a bit too much with the when you sometimes at a competition you'll shoot 30,000 photos over 3 days.
Wow.
And but normally about 6,000 at any event. But then to go through it all just too time consuming, and everyone wants their photos immediately. And I said, look, I can't do this. Yeah, well, I actually worked it out where I listening to the music, and I was shooting every so often. I wasn't shooting as crazy.
Right.
So I would get the hits. Like if you listen to a song, there's 8 beats, and
Yeah.
every 4 or 8 there will be a hit. And
Right.
on that hit, someone will do something dramatic, a
Yes.
dip, a lift, or something or other. So you anticipate. So as a photographer, to reduce my workload, I studied the music.
Yes.
I looked
Right.
at the moves, and if I could go to rehearsals, you can't remember them, but you can see the hits
Yes.
with the music.
Right. Right.
That's how I worked around it.
Right. And even with music, Karen, I would imagine that you would get that as well. You're listening to that beat and kind of waiting for that musician to bring in that moment as well. Hey.
Yeah, I do. But as well as in dancing, I know when they're doing certain things, and I know some of the musicians pretty well, so I already know what they're going to do, kind of thing, just different music, but in actually paying attention, so it can be very tiring.
Yes, very tiring. So, and I guess when you're doing, how many shots again was that, Mr. Jim? 6,000?
Which, look, when you do a dance, average of 6 to 7,000, definitely. But when it's competition, you've got competitors every 3 minutes, and they go from 10 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. Every 3 minutes.
Man, that's a that's a lot of editing. So were you shooting RAWs or JPEGs for that stuff?
Raw. They're definitely raw.
Yeah, right. Because you just.
But I did go off motor, and I was actually timing the trigger rather than just going through so many. And when you're on your own, it's hard to process.
Sure.
If you
manual shooting in those situations?
Manual's 100% manual. So I actually am perspiring like I was flying a plane for the first time or something, and had to land in strong wind because it's so energy consuming. It's unbelievable.
Right. Karen, when were you in the water last time?
Oh, well, probably 2 weeks before they locked us up.
Right. When were you in the water last, Mark?
3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay then. So, and around Sydney as well, or you're kind of...
No, just Nelson Bay, Port Stephens. At this stage.
Right. Okay. So what's up there? What can you see underwater up there?
Well, in the bay, there's a lot of smaller creatures, seahorses, nudibranch, cuttlefish, and then you go out off the main headlands to the sharks and bigger fish, rays, sharks.
Right. Okay. Well, actually, I've got a friend of mine in Melbourne. Oh God, I've gone blank on his name. That's so bad. And he does underwater photography as well. And yeah, it's just beautiful to see what is under there. Have you ever done underwater, Jim?
I'm not much of a swimmer, but I have shoved the camera underneath the water and got some okay shots.
I hope you had it covered and protected.
It was an underwater camera, so it was fine.
Okay.
I'd never take the Nikon out there, even my methods.
Come and check this out at smarterdigital.com.au/live stream. Press the button. That's all you're going to do. Just press the button, and you'll be watching this beautiful photo in front of us, which is, I'm thinking, a whale?
Yes.
Oh my God, where have you been? Where did you go to see that?
This is Alaska.
Oh, wow. That's awesome, man. I love that.
Yeah.
So can you tell us what happened? Where was this?
Yeah, but like, I like to throw it out to the guys on the screen as well. Please ask me any questions. I mean, we're all photographic nuts, and
Thank
you might
you.
have a question, and just ask away, please. I'm happy to
Absolutely.
share. I don't have many secrets.
So what have we got here? Here we go. Exhale, APS.
I know the
Oh, okay.
information, unfortunately, is not there.
Been wiped. That's okay.
Sorry, guys.
That's all right. But you took it on Valentine's Day, I can see.
Yeah, no, it was that's when it was processed for the competition.
When were you there last, Jim?
I was there last September.
Right. Oh, okay.
You know, when I go away, Joe, I don't just go on a trip. I do a few other things. And
Yeah. So the shot itself. So are you on a what kind of boat are you on?
I'm on a charter boat. I think there was only about 5 of us on there.
Oh, nice.
The tour guide had a Nikon D500, and then he pulls out this 500mm prime lens, and I look at my 70-200 and go,
That's not a knife.
that's not a knife. However, so I used my 70-200 at 200. I would have been at a shutter speed around 2000.
Okay.
The ISO would have been around that 7, 8, 9, 10 sort of mark.
Yeah,
I didn't want to drive too far, and ISO would probably. So I had the 850. It might have been around that 100 or 64 mark again.
What's the biggest lens you've got, Karen?
70-200.
Oh, the 2.8. Yeah. Oh, right. Oh, actually, what's that? What's that Sigma you got? You've got, it's the 50-100 on a.
I'm always doing my research, and then I'm thinking, oh, that would probably be nice. And then I'm actually going to the shop, and I'm hoping they don't have it, because if they have it, I'll buy it. So I was hoping they didn't have it. And I went in there, and then Michael says to me, yeah, I think we've got one. Oh, damn.
1.8.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
So, yeah, I was like, oh, that's kind of nice. I was like in awe when Karen was telling me about it, because she shoots a lot of bands, low light, and uses that as well as the 70-200 2.8. But wow, what a lens that is! What a lens that is!
So what I do like about the mirrorless now that I have, I can put my full frame lens on, my 70-200, and if I want to have more range, I just set it to 1.6.
What do you like using, Jim?
I do love the 850.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, I've still got my Olympus EM1 Mark 1, and I enjoy that as well.
Yeah, it has its moments. They both have their moments. Because are using, have you got the one with the grip or without the grip?
The EM1's got the grip.
Got the grip, yeah. I kind of, because I've actually used mine without the grip most of the time, but today I kind of used it and I kind of went, oh, this grip is nice. I like the grip. It's kind of, so I kind of do like using this a bit too, which is a little Fujifilm, which is it's just a connected one. So it's like, it's got a, what is it? 28-105, a 28-112 f2 to 2.8. So it's kind of not a bad little kind of street camera subtle, and it's really good quality. $700 worth, and it's actually really good. Because Karen uses the GX7, is it Karen? I think
G7X, I think.
G7X, yes. There's so many combinations of letters and numbers, it's hard to keep up.
So this is what I do. So I have my external hard drive, and then I have all my photos in
date order.
In date order, and then what I do with that, so I open that up, and then I've got my subfolders: watermark, raw, photo mechanic, and 100%. So if I open this one up here and pull up a photo or something that's interesting.
So 100% you mean for you, as in that you're happy with those shots? They're your edited shots?
Export it at 100%.
At full size. Right. Okay. Right. Right. Okay. Then that's it. Actually, that's all that stuff's quite interesting as well, because we all do have our different filing systems, and you have a folder for watermark stuff. So you then, that's all, and all that structure, you're doing that through Lightroom, or are you doing that?
Yeah. Look, I put everything in raw. Then I then I'll do photo mechanic and do a quick cull.
A photo mechanic. What's that?
Yeah. So photo mechanic is it's got many tools where you can cut a color code. It's like Lightroom. You can give them star ratings, and then I color code everything, and I give everything a 1 or a 2 star, and then I discard the rest. I don't see them again, but I'd never delete any photo, and then I export the category 2s, put them in Lightroom.
Yep.
Then I'll go through another quick cull.
Yep.
And then export my 5s and then send them off to the client or whoever it might be. Yeah.
Smarterdigital.com.au/live stream, and we're talking about different filing system and how Jim, who's a great friend of mine from many years ago, from over 10 years ago now, he's showing us his filing system because we all have different filing systems. So I see what you've done there. So you've got your D&G. Oh, do you play in D&G as well?
No. What I do is because some of the guys I work with don't have the latest Lightroom or didn't have latest Lightroom at the time, I had to export in D&G so they could access the files.
Right, because they're the NEF files. And so for those who are listening out there, D&G is the Adobe RAW format, and the NEF files is the Nikon format. And every time that a new camera comes out, the RAW gets improved. And so, and it's different. And like Lightroom, they can't read those files straight up. So when you export them as a D&G file, everybody with Lightroom will be able to read them. Karen, would you be saying that yours is similar, or do you have a totally different system? Or
no, I put it by dates as well, and who and places.
Mark, how's your filing system on your computer system?
Oh, I don't have enough photos really to have a file.
Well, just keep hanging around us, fella. We'll just take more pictures around the backyard there. You got some Astro stuff there happening to you.
Yeah, so this is Barrenjoey.
Oh, Barrenjoey Point, yes.
If you're not fit, it's not a good climb.
Oh, is it really? Okay, I'm not aware. I mean, I'm aware of the place. I've never been out there, so
the path is pretty good, but I reckon it's illegal.
When you were up there, were there many other photographers up there?
Well, this was the last night of the Astro before it went into hibernation.
Right.
So
okay.
The night before, which was a Saturday night, apparently it was chock-a-block.
Yep.
There was only one other young kid, 17-year-old, who knew a lot about Astro,
right.
And he was up there, and we had a bit of a chat.
Yep.
But yeah, there's only 3 of us.
Come on to smarterdigital.com.au/live stream. If you're there on Facebook, I know you're thinking, I wonder what they're looking at. There is some great astrophotography stuff going on here. Jim, that's a pretty cool shot. That's a beautiful shot, man. That's
Thank you.
yeah. So can you tell us about it? Like some numbers, or what did you stack, or?
No, I don't know how to stack, Joe, so I'll have to come to that class.
Okay, then. Well, I'll come to the class with you because I don't do that either. So is this like early morning stuff as well?
No, this is about 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, I can do that because I'm still drinking at that time, so I can do that. Yeah, it's the early morning stuff that I kind of struggle with, but I'm getting better now, so that's kind of. But wow, so that's a one-shotter.
Well, you got to use. There's a formula for astrophotography on the focal length, and I think this one was about 15 seconds was the maximum I could go before I get the
streaking.
The streaking of the star trail.
Okay. You certainly got the Milky Way there. That's pretty kind of cool. That's not
the Milky Way was actually because of the season being daylight saving.
Right.
The Milky Way was west. So what you do is you get the light pollution from the city.
Right.
And to my surprise, there's a fair bit of light pollution in there, but the image still come out fairly good.
So the light pollution, is that the part that's coming from the bottom? Is that what you're considering to be the light pollution? Right, okay. And I guess, to an untrained eye, that doesn't necessarily detract from the shot.
Well, I'll show you another one, and this one here has got a fair bit of light pollution. You might see a bit better.
Right.
Can you see
Oh,
that?
okay. So down the bottom there, the green. So, oh, okay. Right. Yes.
So up at Barrenjoey, this is the lighthouses to the left, and this would be the accommodation
Of the lighthouse itself.
Yeah, for the caretaker.
Right.
And behind him, behind the building, is Sydney.
Oh, okay. Right. So
to the
you're
left
facing
is
that way.
the city lights, and to the right is more towards Hawkesbury River. That sort of
Right, in that direction.
north,
Yeah. Right.
northern Sydney. Yeah.
Northern Sydney. Yeah. Wow, that's still pretty. And again, that's just a one-shotter as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I know how to shoot.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I mean
yeah.
the whole stacking is really just taking multiple shots and stacking on top of each other. So for somebody out there can come into our Smarter Digital page and talk to us about one day. I'm be happy to, and Jim will certainly be listening on that one because I want to listen to it as well.
Absolutely. Well, the D850 does photo stacking.
Oh, within the camera itself.
Focus stacking, yeah.
Oh, okay, because that's really all it is. Oh, is that all it is? Oh, okay. When I heard stacking, I never really thought about it as focus stacking.
No, but then you've got the other stacking where you've taken two images. Like you get the guys that have got the Opera House and the blue, like an orange moon.
Yes, and that's double exposure.
Some great photos there of Jim's. Yeah, beautiful photos. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, mate. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's cool. They are, man. They are pretty spectacular, special kind of photos. So that was for the fires just recently-ish.
Yeah, so this one here, rather than do the fireworks in Sydney Harbour, I went out to Broken Hill and Menindee.
Yes.
And it was okay. Then this dust storm came through, and then the smoke from the South Australian fires came through. So I headed back to Sydney.
Hello. He was staying away from you?
Because we had the drought and the fires, I didn't want to be in Sydney because I didn't agree with the fireworks in Sydney last year. So I went out to Dubbo, then Broken Hill, and this is in Wellington, just before Dubbo, and this guy is really struggling from the drought.
Interesting how you've kind of got, this brown, but there's that little bit of green just in the back there.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
If you saw the wide shot, because I actually cropped it in.
Right.
It's actually dirt as far as you can see.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, Australia can be a pretty rough kind of place. But hey, this is the beauty about, I guess, digital photography or photography, is that we go out there and we can capture it and share it amongst friends. I
will have a quick comment, Joe.
Thank you.
I've been around the photography, really enjoying for the last 10 years, and I've been to different workshops, I've been to different outings, different little groups, and your group, we do share. I've been to other groups where everyone does their little thing, and then later go, look what I got, or they're first to post and try and brag.
Yeah.
But your sessions are quite good because we can share and we can talk about it, and that's what I like about it, man.
And Mark, who's just been listening, and I really thank Mark because he has no idea who I am, and I hope he kind of hangs around and tells his friends.
But one thing I will say to Mark is, don't be hesitant in coming out and showing a photo. Doesn't matter if you think it's good or bad.
Absolutely.
Because if you like it, that's all that matters, mate. Really.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
That is what I keep on saying to Mark. The only one that needs to like his photo is himself.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.